I'll tell you some other stuff that you can use after the show.
Okay. Hey, welcome to the Thursday Checkdown. I'm here with Tipp, my co-host. I am in pain. Uh, as long as I'm sitting still, I'm okay. But if I yawn or if I move just the wrong way, severe pain. So I will persevere, persevere for you because we've got a very special guest and a great topic tonight. Uh, could you please bring in Iggy and Will? We'd like to have Iggy with us tonight too, if we can. Will Garlinge is the Discord boss, and he he also does a lot of our graphics and a lot of the stuff for us. This cool background that I got behind me, that's all Will. Um, Iggy, I want to welcome you to the show. I want to get back used to having four people on for the regular season, or we can just blank everybody, JC, if you want. Hey, Anthony.
I don't know.
Okay, so
it looks like
go ahead. I can't hear you.
No, I was just saying, it looks like he's head down, but I'm honored to be here.
Oh, well, we're great to have you. Hey, Mace is on too. So, Tipp, I don't think you ever met Mace, but Mace was the original co-host of this show. So, welcome to the show.
I know Mace very well, man. Mace is a true king, and if you look at his Twitter handle, it is Cali King. So yeah, no, Mace is cool people, man. I appreciate him being on. But really, man, I really appreciate all you guys, man. You know, we've had a tough time here in Houston. I don't know if you guys know, we had the Hurricane Beryl. He came through. Actually, we met Beryl on Saturday at the expo, and we had a lot of fun with that. And his name, that's FF Medicine Cabinet. For you guys, that don't know him, but yeah, he's really cool. But like I said, we've had a tough time here in Houston. Greg, I know you got power, although you're not, 100% with the pulled muscle, man. Hopefully you get better. Will, appreciate you being on. Iggy, of course, doing this thing on the ones and twos. So hey, let's get this party started, man. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. We're not gonna let a hurricane stop us.
And
we may not have
say a prayer
at my house, but we're not gonna let it stop us.
Yes, say a prayer for Tipp because he's still without power. We're doing well, but before we get started, I want to give you guys a feel for what a Scott Fishbowl live draft is like. It's 43 seconds, so it's not too long. Can we run that at the start of the show, please?
Yes, we can.
Is you? Okay. I'm waiting for JC to kick it off.
Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? How the music can free her whenever it starts, and it's magic. If the music is groovy and makes you feel happy like an old-time movie, I'll tell you about the magic and it'll free your soul. But it's like trying to tell a stranger about a rock and roll. Do you believe in magic? Don't bother to choose if it's judge and music or rhythm and blues. Just go and listen. It'll start with a smile that won't wipe off your face, no matter how hard you try. Your feet start tapping and you can't seem to find how you got there.
So that was the Houston live draft. There were three teams drafting. One of the leagues, not Tipp's and not mine, drafted Saquon Barkley at the 102 slot. So there were some surprises for sure. I got to ham it up with Casey Kasem, the Casey Kasem, Michelle and Kate Michu. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Posed for me, and Tipp posed with "It's Terra time." So,
yeah, no, that was awesome, and the whole event was awesome. Very, very humbling experience. I mean, I haven't been in this industry too long, and to be a part of that was just really cool. I actually won one of the silent auctions that I signed up for football guys. It was a 1-year subscription, so I'm excited about that. That was gonna be pretty cool too. But yeah, man, it was a really fun time getting to draft with people who are, in the industry, really competitive. You had some head scratchers in there. You had some, like, I think the guy, if I'm not mistaken, Chris, his name at the end of our draft, the 112 and 221, he picked Travis Kelce and Sam Laporta back to back. Now I know Greg loves Sam Laporta, but for him to pick those two tight ends back to back, and if you know the Scott Fishbowl rules, then I mean, hey, that was a bold move, but it might work out for him because tight ends are a premium in the Scott Fishbowl. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to compete all year, and it'll be fun.
That's the only way to go bully tight end, is you got to get two of the top 5. That's the only way, because the lower tier tight ends just aren't going to outscore the wide receivers and running backs. But I will say this: there was a gentleman that I got Pat Mahomes in the first round. One pick before me in the second round, he took Kelce. Now, I didn't think Kelce would even get close, but he took Kelce. Then later in the draft, he took Zamir White one pick before me. And then last in the draft, he took Jake, what's his name? The new kicker for Detroit. They signed a kicker from the UFL. Jake Bates, I think is his name. This kid kicked like 260-yarders in the UFL. So he was going to be my 21st pick, and the guy took him one pick before me again. So anyway, we've got Will here. Will Garlinge is going to talk to us about Discord, and then we're just going to shoot the crap about football, because we all love football here. And I want Iggy later on, we'll do it halfway through the show, I want Iggy to talk about Kawasaki disease and the FF7s. But Will, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Tipp, for having me on. Iggy, pleasure as always. No, it's good to be here. I'm here to just talk about the Discord that we're building. We're building a community in there that is going to cover all sports, all fantasy, daily fantasy. Let's see, we got exercise Zumba in there for the expo for Carla. We got some self-promotion channels in there. And the Discord is going to be, it's completely free right now. We may have some stuff down the road, but right now it's completely free. Come on in and we just talk sports all day long.
Hey, Will, before we go any further, explain what a Discord is, because some people may not know.
Yes, please.
So a Discord server is like a big chat room where you have different channels. So if you use Slack for work, maybe, or you use like Microsoft Teams, and you it's kind of the same thing, but with here you can DM and you can also have channels. So what happens is you can go into one room that's fantasy football advice, but another room will be fantasy football trades or fantasy football draft or anything, that's in that server. You go into those channels, and that's where you can discuss. So say it's Sunday at 12 o'clock Eastern time, so 12 o'clock Eastern time, and you need to make a last minute move, but you don't know what to do. You can jump in there, and out of our current 70 members, somebody will answer and start to, discuss with you why they think that that's a better pick. And sometimes you can get like 4 or 5 people talking about the same thing, and it's a lot of fun. It's off season right now, so it will pick up. Go ahead.
So, Will, I have a question, because I am not the most computer savvy. I will say that. However, I got the hang of Twitter, because Twitter is almost like, to me, it's almost like an email, like where, for instance, I started a tweet or a post or whatever, and then somebody comments on it, and I could directly comment back on there. So are you telling me that Discord allows you to have 3 to 4, maybe even more people comment all at the same time, and you can see all of those comments at one time?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's pretty cool, because if I'm not mistaken, in Twitter, doesn't it show one by one by one by one by one?
Correct. It shows it one by one by one. So if you have it on your phone or you have it on your computer. It will be like a chat room where you'll see everybody's name. So everybody's on the same side. When you go on Twitter, you'll have everybody else on the left, and then you'll have yourself on the right. Here, you have all, so it's a little easier to stay organized. I don't know about you guys, but my Twitter is crazy with, chats and talking football and Scott Fishball. I'm in the Scott Fishball hopeful still. Great people over there. It just became a lot. So I came to JC and Iggy, I want to say back in April. And I was like, hey, why don't we condense this and put this into one where everybody can just grow and start talking to each other, whether you have Twitter or not. You could promote yourself on Twitter here and on Discord, same thing. But here it's like, if you're looking for that last minute, change from your bench to a starting quarterback or something, you have multiple people that see that message. And myself, I know JC answers all the time. I know Iggy answers all the time. I know JR answers all the time. So, and Pete, we're always in there talking and stirring up new things, and we promote all of our shows on there. We're going to have some more stuff in the future, but short term right now, that's where the Discord is. It's an app. You go on the internet, you can download it, and you can put the app on your PC, Mac, Android, iPhone, iPad, no matter what device. And you get you can control your notifications. So you can say, I just want people when they at me, or I just want notifications on this certain channel. On Twitter or on Facebook or something, you would have to mute that entire conversation. Well, here you don't have to. You can go and you can see it, and it's kind of the same thing, but you're going on there and you can actually see. I'm sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. You can actually see what's going on and stuff. So Discord is basically having like all of your Twitter messages, whether it's a group or personal DMs, all in one spot. And it's really nice to stay organized. And it's also, you could do giveaways, you can do polls, which we're going to be doing. We have some plans for that. You can do, like, let's say we're talking about this, but we do maybe a watch party, or somebody wants to just do a random like stream. We can stream exclusively on Discord just to our members. And it's awesome because it doesn't cost anything, nothing. Everybody's in the same chat, and we have it controlled right now to where the speakers will so there's not so much chatter at once. But when you come in here, and you could watch and see what they're doing on screen, or you can, talk just like this, but it's exclusive just to those members. So it's kind of cool where you're in that community, but you're not hearing the noise of maybe ads or something like that, or you're seeing your news feed. Could be anything depending on whatever platform, because I love Twitter. I'm not putting Twitter down, but I'm just saying, it's kind of like something like that, but a lot more simplified.
Well, you're right. It does. Twitter for me sometimes you can get lost in the translation. You're like, I thought I already tweeted that, but I can't remember if I tweeted that. So let me go back and look at the tweet and go inside the tweet. So I understand that. But I know Iggy and I know Greg probably have some questions. I got a ton of questions because Discord is something new to me. So I'm going to be asking some more questions, but let's go to Greg or Iggy.
Yeah, by all means.
Iggy.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So how many categories do we currently have on the sports affiliation? Like, I see the hockey jersey above you, right? I believe that's what the 7-7 is. Or it's a sweater, not a jersey.
This one?
Yeah, is that a hockey sweater?
It's a jersey. It's signed by Ray Bork when he won the cup.
Oh, okay, nice. But yeah, what all do we have to offer to the people right now? Just to show them what all.
Sure, we have the TSA data spot, which is kind of like the announcements that TSA has, all the shows. There is a broad chat in there where everybody comes to first when they first join the server. Then we have another category that has SFB 14, NFL, which contains all football. Then we have fantasy football. So we can combine it. It's going to be, we'll see how the season goes, but you could talk just the game, like, oh, that was a terrible play or something, or you can just go and you can just talk fantasy. So there's two options there. You also have fantasy baseball. You have the NBA, and you also have mock drafts, exercise, which is Zumba, daily fantasy sports. We have DraftKings, FanDuel, Prize Picks, Underdog, Drafters, everything. And we can always add on to it too. So if you have a recommendation or something, by all means, please ask me, and we'd be happy to do it. If it's another sport like UFC, I got a couple of questions about that. We've got to talk with JC and Iggy and see how that works. And yeah, 100%. Okay. We also have just some other stuff. Mock drafts, because for our Monday night mock draft show, we like to post all the draft picks every Tuesday following. our Monday show. For Scott Fishbowl 14, which is, of course, we're in the middle of the slow drafts. Some live drafts already happened. We have a general discussion, so everybody who's in Scott Fishbowl can jump in and check it out. People who are not in Scott Fishbowl can still jump in and check it out. It'll be fun because they can see what they can look forward to when they do make it. Mock drafts. So we have a lot going on in there. I do a lot of announcements and embedding and stuff too.
Okay, so I know the answer to this. I know the answer to this question because I've done it. But I didn't know the answer the first time I tried to do it. I've got a friend named Jeff Lambert. Okay. I've got another friend named Bob Lung. Now, those that don't know, Jeff Lambert runs a site called Going for Two. They were hosting hundreds of Scott Fishbowl mock drafts this year. Well over 200 they did. And so they invited me to join their Discord. So I clicked on the link, not knowing what it would do to my link up to the TSA Discord. It doesn't do anything. It just adds another entry so that I can pop between one Discord and another with the app. I'm also there's a Discord for the FF Expo, for people going to the FF Expo. So I can have all three of those Discords in one app and just pop back and forth. And it tells me when there are new messages that I've got notifications for. Is there a lot of overhead? I mean, the app, you don't have anything to do with the app, do you?
No, I do not. I'm with TSA. And the app, you're meaning, what do you mean by the...
I've got an app on my phone for Discord.
Right.
And it just says Discord. I hit Discord. It comes up. And on the top left side, there's the TSA logo. So that I know if I want to go into any of the channels on TSA, I just click on that logo and it shows me a list of all the channels. And usually I think there's a little number of how many new messages are in that channel. So if there's 5 new messages, I just click on the 5 and it opens it up so I can just scroll through them and see what I want to see. I have not set up any filters. So basically, if it goes into the channel, I see it. You said, did I miss it, or did you say I could set up filters and say, I don't want to see the basketball stuff? I could turn that stuff off. Is that true?
No, you can't turn it off. What I was saying is that you can filter the notifications. So, everyone's like, some people don't like group chats because they don't like to get inundated with notifications. That's not how Discord works. Discord works
notifications going to email, or notifications just in the app?
Within the app. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have a conversation and 10 people are talking about a current game, you're not getting 1,000 notifications.
Yeah.
You're only going to get a notification when someone's at you, like at Will FF. That's how that works. So it's not, you don't get all the message that goes through. Now, if you're active in the conversation, the algorithm will pick it up and will start sending you notifications that are relevant to your messages. But they're not going to send you something that's not a part of, that you're like not really a part of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you can filter that. You can change it to where you can receive every single message. But most people, including myself, I just keep it at app because I'm on the app all day long. So I see, everything that's going on. But, the different servers you can have on your left, no matter what device you're using, you can see in like kind of like Apple, the little red notification with a number and what's going on. So, I mean, I love that. Because I'm in about 10 servers and I can just bang right through them nice and quick.
Right. Well, I have a question for you, Will. Somebody like myself who I'm pretty active in Twitter. I try to stay active in Twitter because when I first started this was what I started on. Okay. So my question to you, because you do a really good job at doing this, and so does Big Draft Energy. You guys are able to go on Twitter and do Discord, maybe not at the same time, but kind of go back and forth. I see a notification come up on Discord because I have the app, but I'm just not active on the app because I'm not comfortable with it. So for someone who's not comfortable like myself, somebody who maybe just downloads the app from listening to our show tonight, What would you recommend? Would you recommend like going just deep into it? Because my fear is if I go too deep into it, then I'll forget about Twitter and vice versa. So what would you recommend doing for somebody like myself?
So what I would do is, so you don't feel too uncomfortable and you kind of ease yourself into it. So I use Twitter and I use Discord. They are different. One's more just of a chat with people within the community, and Twitter is you're talking to 1,000 million strangers, whatever it is. So what I recommend is you stay with what you're comfortable and slowly start to get involved with what you're doing with Discord. So if it would be baseball, if it would be basketball, if it would be football, and you see myself or you see another member or somebody start talking about Ayuk would just or asked to be traded, and you start joining the conversation. It's very user friendly. So it's not like what a moderator does or what admins do on the server side is, the scripting, the implementing of the bots, the security, the verification and stuff like that. This is you click and you start typing. If you want to start doing some stuff where polls, you can start to fiddle around with that, fiddle with the commands. We have commands in here that all members can use, like the polls, or they can see members or, at somebody, we allow that within the server. So, I like to always make everyone comfortable as possible and say, stick with what you're comfortable with, but slowly work on the other stuff on the side so you can still learn the program and really get a good feel for it and determine if you like it or not, while not letting go of, what you are comfortable with.
Now, I have a dumb question, but my mother always said no question is dumb. My mom was a teacher, so she was like, so. But but before that, I want to make sure I understood what you said. What you were saying is, do both, use both, till you become comfortable with both. But the other thing I heard you say is, when you're in Discord, it's only amongst that Discord family or that Discord chat. It doesn't go to other strangers outside of that Discord. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So this is my next question. Let's say I put a tweet out there, like today. I put a tweet out there. Would you rather have Zay Flowers or would you rather have Amari Cooper in this upcoming fantasy football season? Blah, 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 whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I take that tweet, and maybe this isn't condoned because it is Discord and it's X. Can I take that and put it into Discord? Or should I just type in that exact same thing in Discord that I did into X, if that makes sense?
Hey, Will, before you answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't like the idea of typing, Tip. I would copy the tweet and then just paste it into Discord.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting. Can I copy and put it in there, or that's what I'm getting at?
Yeah, so what you want to do is you can copy the link. Like if you were going to share it to a friend or something, you go and you copy that link. You copy and paste that link into Discord, let's just say the Twitter channel, and it comes up and it'll come up with your username or your handle, and then it'll say on X, and then it will come up with the tweet. Okay. If you go and look in Twitter on there, you'll see. I think I've done some. I think JC has done a couple.
Okay, so that's not frowned upon in the Discord family.
No, not at all.
Community.
So it doesn't just give you a link; it gives you the actual tweet.
Correct.
Iggy, your turn.
That's cool.
Iggy,
am I unmuted? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yeah. You sound like disco now. Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Is this thing on?
No, I got a little bit of delay. We have a hailstorm kind of going through right now. But yeah, that's my next question is what is your what do you look to bring like you said, people come automatically into the data room, is that correct? And then they can choose from there. Is that going to be, I think, where the most of the activity will be for this upcoming fantasy football season?
No, I think most of what's going to really be very active. I haven't said that right. The channel I think that will be most active will be the general discussion in fantasy football, the fantasy football category, and then the channel general discussion, fantasy football, general discussion, because I feel that that's just where everybody's going to be like, from all different leagues. I'm not saying the same or different. They'd be like, Kelsey went off today. And then you'll have people saying, yeah, he got me 26 points, but in another league that's completely different scoring, he's got 46 points, and that's where you're starting to grow not only your knowledge but your network as well, because you're going to help that person too. So I think that the general discussion is always vital in every category, NBA, NFL, NHL, etc., because that's where everybody can just congregate. And if they had the specific question like, hey, I want to trade this person for these two or a pick or something like that, go to the trades channel. So that's why I have the general discussion, because that's where most of the people will congregate at once.
Okay, so I've got a big question. We've got Mace Riney in the chat. Mace is an IDP specialist.
Nice.
We've got Iggy, IDP underscore Iggy, as
Yeah.
a host, who is also an IDP specialist. And I'm in a league called the FF7s,
Me
which
too.
is an IDP league. And I have not done IDP since 2016. So is there currently or planned an IDP channel on the TSA Discord so that I can get my questions answered from people like Mace and Iggy?
Yep, I can. What I can do on that is that we don't have one currently, because this I got you beat, Greg. This is my first year playing IDP in FF7. I've done my homework, or at least I thought I did, and we'll see how it is at the end of the season. But I think an IDP and an FF7 category would definitely benefit everybody that would love to join.
And Mace, comment in the chat. Are you going to get into our thing so I can ask you questions outside of? Oh, he says, count me in. Cool. We got to get that up.
Awesome.
We got to get that up right away.
I have the link on my pin tweet on my profile on Twitter, or X. So anybody that's here right now, you don't see the link just yet, you can just head on over to my profile page and you'll see it there.
Will FF Underbar. Will FF Underbar.
Yep.
It's right there in his name.
That's it. Same one.
Tip.
I was like, what did he just say? Underbar, but he said underbar. I see it now. I was like, what is Greg talking about? But anyway, no. So, do we have on the Discord? And I need to. I'm gonna, from now on, you guys have my commitment to get on Discord. At least I'm not gonna do an hour. I'm gonna at least do 30 minutes a day, because it's something that I feel like I have to get used to. Just so that way I can get acclimated. Once I get acclimated and once I get comfortable, then you guys are probably going to be like, damn, this guy Tips on here too much. You want to kick me off.
Man, we welcome that.
But are we going to do some type of sit-start type thing? Because when the season comes up, those are like the big questions that you get during season. Not so much during basketball, but season-long leagues, you get a lot of sit-start questions. Is there already something like that already in the Discord, or are we going to do something like that in the Discord? And then I do have another question.
Okay. Yep. We don't, because we're still growing. I have just the basics in there, but IDP, FF7, I will be happy to put that in there as well. Have a channel where it's just start set, where you can share your screenshot of your roster and share it in there. Sure, of course. I can have that done by the end of the night. Absolutely.
Okay. And then my next question is, how do you invite people? I've been invited into the league. Greg has been, into Discord. How do you invite other people, or are we not wanting to invite other people in here? I mean, is there like certain parameters, certain stipulations? Do they have to be a part of the TSA network? Like what would stop somebody? Let's say if I meet somebody on Twitter and they're like, man, I like what you have to say. Hey, do you have a Discord? Can I invite that person on? Because I know you want to be wary of trolls and things like that. I love trolls, by the way. So, but you want to be wary of them. But I mean, what do you want? Like, how does that work? Do I need to get permission from somebody, from you, Will? Hey, this other guy wants to join in. Is it cool? You want to check him out? How does that work?
Yeah, so when you go on, now it depends on the device that you're on, but you want to go and you want to say invite to server. We are opening this up to everybody. This is a way that people know that they're in TSA safe space and they're coming in to discuss, and they're going to speak with everybody that's either a member, a staff member, no matter who you are. This is like the TSA hub, and we're going to have everybody there. So I'd be happy to send you the link. Like I said, you can go on my profile on Twitter, and you are more than welcome to invite anybody. Now, when I do have security layers in place where when you come onto the server, it gives you the list of rules. It's pretty much your basic rules.
Okay.
We just ask that you don't spam. If there's spam or anything, it's an immediate ban, just because we don't want to flood and annoy all the other users. So you come on in, you start talking, and spamming is, texting each channel like within 10 seconds and stuff like that. We get those, some that leak in. It's been a little bit better the past week because I changed a few more settings, but the bots will always be a little bit of a battle. I'm working on that on the security side, but anybody that you want to invite, please, by all means, you can invite send that link on over to them. And good, because it is a server. So we do see, the admins and the moderators do see like who has what invite link and how many people were invited per link. So if like a bot ever got it, we can always very easily go to our audit page and we can see it and we'll capture it. But I don't foresee that happening, especially within this community. And if it does, it'll be very few and far between.
Okay. So we have
before we get to the next topic, let's go ahead and get to a word to our sponsors.
Here we go.
Iggy beat me to it. I was going to basically say, Iggy, we're going to go to the next topic, but what I would like you to do is explain Kawasaki disease, explain FF7s. It's too late for anybody to get into an FF7 this year, right?
Yes, sir. This year, I don't have the sign-up sheet for next year, but we will circulate it probably about a third of the way through the season of this year. But Kawasaki's disease is a disease that affects children. It's an autoimmune response to a virus. And there was a large spike around COVID, which my daughter was a part of. And we got to, have that experience as a family. And I was unaware of it. But what it does is it dilates the coronary artery, which would create a blood clot right next to the heart in most cases. And it can lead to long-term effects as well if not caught early enough. But that's one thing I realized that we could help right away is because I didn't know it even existed. Most people do not until they're encountered with it. And so we're just spreading the word about it. Like I said, there's been a large spike since COVID, and it mainly affects children under 5. So completely helpless, like not anything like related to nutrition or anything like that, just like an autoimmune response. So we're trying to spread awareness. I live in Colorado, so we started with Colorado. Every rural hospital in Colorado, as I live in a rural area. And we're just going to keep going in the Mountain West, New Mexico and Wyoming this year. And then hopefully we get Montana, Idaho, and Utah as well. So, is really each one teach one philosophy, Greg. You don't have to see the flyer to know what it is. And we've had one person that is in the FF7s league. The doctor said that they wanted to test for it because they thought it could be that. Turns out it wasn't, but just bringing it to their doctor's awareness, like, that could be what it is, so to make sure that's not it. And because it gets misdiagnosed easily. It can be diagnosed as polio or just many of the rashes kids get, or toddlers get essentially as their immune system is developed. So in fantasy football 7s, it brings awareness to that. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so there is going to be a sign up going on. Will, tying that back to you, Discord, it's great to have an FF7 channel where we can discuss our teams and ask questions, but it'd be kind of nice to have an FF7 sign up separate channel so that it's not getting intermixed, so that you kind of keep those conversations separate. Would you support that, Iggy?
Absolutely, yeah. Because it's interesting. I have what I call a BS breaker, and you know what BS is. So this is a breaker because I track every game from all 7 leagues all year throughout the year. I make sure somebody gets a game of the week, and then because it's built like kind of customly. It's more about your schedule than it is any of your points. Like the points is like the 6th tiebreaker. So you play your division the first 3 games of the year, the last 3 games of the year, and it goes, your overall record, your head-to-head record, your division record, and your conference record, because there's 2 conferences of 8 teams, and it breaks down how it is. And the reason I did that is because a long time ago, one of the guys tried to say, hey, no, before I created the charity league, he's like, hey, I should be in. This is why, and I was like, look, this is the BS breaker. This is what happened. You lost both your division games. So you do not get to advance against this person because they'll have the same record, and the same overall record, and then they beat you twice in the division. So you're done, and it was just what I have called it over the years, and we track it. But the sign up sheet, and other than that, like my whole point with that is because of the game of the weeks, because of the game of the tournaments, because of the highest score out of all the matches, people like to compare amongst their friends. Like we're all in fantasy football sevens here, and maybe we could have a spot that we could all talk along with the BS breaker to see who put up the most points that week, who won the game of the tournament, et cetera, et cetera.
So your turn for Will. Iggy.
Will, so what was your most intimidating thing about IDP, or were you just ready to go with it with arms wide open? And then the third part of that, and then I was going to say, and then the third part.
One hell of a job. The only thing else I can say is, how about you, Cowboys?
Everybody's been picking on me today about the Cowboys.
Hey, so didn't know I was there.
Yeah,
I gotta let it.
What was the first 2 part of those questions? Because that made me forget.
What are you most looking forward towards the IDP, or have you found any challenges with IDP as of yet?
No, I haven't found any challenges. I did my homework, so watching football, you kind of have an idea, but I never really paid too much attention to them. So now that I'm paying closer attention, who's on whose team, reading the data because I'm a numbers person. So is it intimidating? Yeah, definitely. I definitely think I've made some mistakes, but I'm really looking forward to FF7 because the scoring, the amount of the short bench, which I absolutely love, and the IDP players, it makes it just so much more fun.
16 teams, man.
Yeah.
A shortage of positions.
And
you have to choose where your shortage is.
Yeah, you have to, try to double it as much as you can. Yeah, but you're not going to be able to. Mace had a question for you. Have you drafted an IDP yet? So who?
I have.
Let's see, I can pull it up.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, you can pull it up. Sweet.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think it was Bosa.
Did you grab Bosa?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa or Joey?
Joey. Nick.
Okay.
Nick Bosa.
I'm pulling up my draft so I can look.
I have not. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Tip and I are in the same league, so Mason.
I didn't expect these quarterbacks to go like that. I knew they were gonna go fast, but my first 2 picks were auto picked because I had no service whatsoever, so I was kind of bummed about that. But I was like, oh, all right, CeeDee Lamb, and then I was like, okay, Justin Jefferson, I'll take that. That's a nice start. But then I started looking at the rules again and the settings. I was like, I was like, but man, I'm just so bullheaded on, getting my wide receivers and getting really good ones. Now I'm stuck with Geno Smith as my quarterback. So we will see, man. We will see what happens. This will be a fun league. I have not drafted an IDP player yet, just because there's so many on the board and there's so many players that I feel like that could be up and comers. I'm just like, okay, let me wait on that because some of these linebackers can stumble upon tackles, and some of these guys, they could become 10 plus sack players, over the course of a year. So it's like, all right, let me keep building up on this roster, but I'm definitely, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with me. I right now I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't know, but it's going to be fun. And then you guys got me drafted right next to Bob Harris, and I'm like, come on, man, what the hell?
Got to drive next to your host, man. That's co-host. That's co-host duties. Bob has two co-hosts.
I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens. But you know, Bob, I don't know. Maybe Bob's been sleeping too. I don't know. Maybe he got affected by Hurricane Beryl too, because he made a couple picks. I was like, ooh.
Well, look here. I got Will's team pulled up. I got Will's team pulled up right here. Can y'all see it?
I had Miles
got
Garrett.
his fantasy.
I'm sorry.
You're on the clock, actually, Will. You can draft.
I know.
You can
draft. I just looked at that.
You can draft on. Will you can draft?
The pressure is on.
You are live in. Yeah, Joe. You got Joe Burrow, Joe Gibbs. Before you take your pick, no hurry. Let's let Greg and Tipp evaluate it. All right, guys. Here we go. Joe Burrow, Joe Gibbs.
I'll evaluate it in a minute. First, I'm going to complain. Iggy put me in the 16 slot. I got the 16 slot.
It's random.
So Iggy and JC told me that quarterbacks go fast in this league. So I got two quarterbacks back to back. Well, I got Justin Herbert, who I'm fine with, and Brock Purdy. I'm okay with those two guys. But then you don't pick for another 35. So I did take the second defensive team. I think the first defensive team went with the second pick in the second round. They got the Ravens. I got the Cowboys. And I don't love the Cowboys. Man, they scored a lot of points. Yeah, I got Kelsey in the fourth round. I got Kelsey in the fourth round.
Yeah, you got Kelsey in the fourth round. I was commenting on that on my show earlier that you got Kelsey in the fourth round, but you're not going to find that in basically any league. That's another beauty of IDP, Greg.
Right.
Well,
you just got
fourth round of a 16-team draft.
Right.
And then I got my first. Now I need to get evaluated here. Hey, Mace, you got to tell me. I have no idea about the IDP play. Oh man, that hurt. I have no idea about the IDP player. So what I did was I used the ADP that's in Sleeper and the projected points, and I went with Fred Warner as my first IDP player. And followed him up with Cooper Kupp. Is Warner okay? Is he terrible? Is there somebody I should have gone with other than that?
I think Warner's pretty solid, actually. I think Warner's going to be pretty solid right there for you. But we'll get Mace's opinion. He's a 49er. Oh, don't use Sleeper ADP. You got to use my cheat sheet. Greg, I sent you a cheat sheet. Everybody that joins Fantasy Football Sevens has a free cheat sheet as long as you filled out the form. And Greg, you did that. Tipp, I don't know if you filled out the form yet, but I'll be glad to send it to you. And Will got one.
I can't print it. I got no way to print it.
It's a PDF.
It's too little for my old eyes.
It's PDF. I forgot you said you don't read well. I tried to keep everything one per page. So when the coaches and the coordinators and the actual cheat sheet, that might be small, but the rankings, I think you might still see them with some reading glasses, man.
I didn't even pull it up because I said there's no way I'm going to, because I've seen these draft guides and stuff on my phone. They're worthless to me. I can't read any of them.
No, I print out a copy every year too, Greg. That's what I used in the Kings Classic. So, I'm old school in that sense. So I made it where you can print it off.
Mace says Warner's good. He's consistent, and I lucked out. I'll take luck every day in this league. Okay, so
that's the thing about the turn. You really got to get your guys though, Greg, on the turn because you got to wait 30 picks before you get to get in. So you have to. But let's get back to Will. Let's get back to Will right here. We got Burrow. We got Gibbs in the second. He's got two of them. He's got Burrow and he's got a backup in J.J. McCarthy. So not bad.
That's not a backup. J.J.'s the best rookie quarterback in the league this year.
Come on now. Hold on, Greg. I got to play a soundbite
for that pick.
Somebody keep reading that. Hold on. I got something for you right here, Greg. Let's see if it works.
Hey, I'm telling you, you can have whatever you want. JJ is going to outscore the other rookie quarterbacks. You watch.
Okay. We'll see. I think Sam Darnold. It's the redemption of Sam Darnold. But we can ask. We got JC, Mr. Viking down there. We can get him to say something. We got DJ Moore for Will, and then Myles Garrett coming in at the 5th pick.
I like Garrett.
IDP in the 5th round. That's a great steal in the 5th round, I think. You got some great teams there, Will. What are you thinking? Let's ask what you're thinking, and then we'll give some rebuttal.
Yeah.
That's
That's exactly where I was going, Greg. I mean, he's got Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is creme de la creme, right? But he's sharing time with David Montgomery. So
hold on. What position are you thinking about? So y'all want me to pull up the running backs real quick?
Oh, that's the position I was thinking.
There's none left.
Hold on. What the heck just happened? Come here. Let's see. Running backs.
Somebody
so this is
my list.
I'm going to go by projected rushing yards. That's something I like to look at by running backs. May not matter to a lot of people, but it doesn't mean. Singletary's there. Montgomery's there. Gus Edwards. I don't understand Nick Chubb's projections. I think that might be a little off. Touchdowns. David Montgomery, man, they want you to handcuff, bro. I don't know if I like that idea. The projected points we got
right. I mean, you know what?
What do you think?
Who'd you take, Will?
I would take Spears.
I like Spears too. I think he's going to get the start.
Totally going to take over Pollard. Pollard is so overrated.
But Will, I'm telling you, if you don't take him with this pick, if you didn't take him with this pick,
we don't take him with this
because it's coming back to me.
Oh, great!
No, you're
not in my league.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute.
You're not in my league.
I definitely think you need to go running back, man. I'm not gonna tell you who to go with.
No, I did. I went and got Spears. Yeah. I picked Spears.
Oh, you picked Spears. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I agree with it personally.
Yeah. Okay.
I like
him. Spears is gonna have a good year. I do.
Okay.
And there's not going to be enough running backs anyway. You might get two starters if people don't go RB heavy, but you're not going to get a third one. I mean, 16-team league. There's only 32 starters.
Let's take a look at Greg's team. Where's Greg's team?
You'd have to bring up a different draft to get mine.
Okay, let me pull up Greg.
The only reason why
I'm going to bring up a different one. I'll get it. Give me a second.
I love that I got Cooper Kupp so late. I do.
I got to close a lot of these things. It's slowing my computer down. Give me a second. I'll get it up there.
Will, this is your first IDP league, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
Look at Mace in the chat. Talk to him. Now, if he's in your league, don't talk to him. Reach out to Gary Davenport.
We'll look at Mace's right after we look at Greg's because Mace's and Tips and I are on the same, so we can kind of close it out with that if y'all want, Greg. Whatever y'all want to do. I'm pulling up Greg's.
Cool. I'm pretty sure you guys want to laugh at mine. That's cool.
Well, we can see Bob's right next to yours too, right? So we can pull up another Hall of Famers draft. Sure. Don't get to do that. 2 Hall of Famers. Look at 2 Hall of Famers in one draft pick here or one show. That's pretty rare, Let's pull up Greg's. I got it loaded. Give me a second. I'll tell you my last pick and let me get some air on it. And I'm going to piggyback a little bit off the Tip today. I took Zay Flowers as my last pick. Where do y'all project? Give me like a 5, a 5 range. Where do you think Zay Flowers ends up?
4. I like him.
Yeah, I would say 3.5, 4. This is the thing, guys. They're gonna run the ball. They got their running back. They got the guy that they wanted. So they're gonna go out the gate running the ball, especially at the beginning of the season. So my thing is towards the end of the season, I think that they try to start saving Derrick Henry a little bit, hopefully for that playoff run. So I like Zay Flowers. But, man, I don't know. I keep hearing these camp reports, the OTA reports on Rashad Bateman, how he looked very, very, very good. I know that he's not the most healthy guy. They got Mark Andrews. My thing is, are they going to be passing the ball enough for them to have 3 relevant? Mark Andrews is going to get his. I feel like Zay Flowers is going to get his, but could Rashad Bateman eat into that? That is my question right now. That's the thing I got about Zay Flowers.
He could definitely work in Scott Fitzgerald with those return yards, I think. We'll see how that
yeah,
goes.
now, yes. Yep.
Yeah, but you don't have
Yeah.
those return yards, do you?
Yeah, I've had return yards for 15 years, my man. What you talking about? I got defensive special team return yards, and I have individual player return yards. So you can
There
double
it
down on
is.
a returner.
Oh, so you're telling me to go get Nixon?
Yeah, you can go get Nixon in this league. Yeah, you can go get a DB in this league, and it might be very, very valuable. And you can run him as a flex IDP, or you can run him as a defensive back. So,
Hey,
yeah,
Iggy,
there's more than one way to, as they used to say. Go ahead, Tip.
No.
So my
You got
team's the
draft
one
up, I
that
see
I
it.
in, right?
So yeah, yours is on the right. JC's we're putting JC on blast right here. He's been on the clock for 2 hours and 12 minutes. So we can watch what JC's going to be picking too. Even bring him up and talk about it. Have 2 picks from 2 different leagues of fantasy football.
I haven't decided yet here. I haven't decided. I might go quarterback, or I might be. So this is what I was explaining last night, everyone, because I don't know if
You
anybody.
haven't had enough time to decide already?
Hey, I got to make a decision if I want to keep passing on quarterback. I don't know if anybody ever watches Seinfeld, but there's an episode where Kramer takes a car out for a test drive, and as every single time he keeps passing this, like where they got to get off to go get gas, and he's like, the tank is below empty. He said, "Let's take her, keeps taking her around. Let's keep going, keep taking her around. Eventually, you're gonna run out of gas, and that's gonna be me, and I'm gonna be with no cord." But the one thing, this is the thought process. The thought process I have with quarterbacks in FF7s is you can get negative points. So your quarterback can get negative points, right? So I'm looking at potentially maybe using the flex and the super flex with receivers or running backs or something. That's kind of my theory here, and just grabbing some of these guys that potentially just have it start. Like there's still guys out there like Jacoby Brissett who could probably potentially be the starter for the first couple of weeks, and he probably won't get drafted until, I don't know, 12th, 13th round. So if I can find a guy like that, and maybe a guy at the end, maybe a Sam Howell or something like that could sit on my bench and potentially start. I don't know. It's really risky. I think right now what I'm between is either going another defensive player. I thought about maybe tight end, but I don't know, because I got burned by tight ends in Iggy's league. It's different. You don't have to start.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't.
It's only 0.5. So basically, it being half point PPR, you basically get it's full PPR for tight ends. But to me, I don't know. Who's going to score more points this year? I was just saying in the chat, who's going to score more points this year?
I hear a lot of stalling, JC. I hear a lot of stalling.
You could get Sam Darnold, JC. He's probably going to start all year.
I'm never going to have Sam Darnold on my team. I'm sorry. We talked about it last.
No, JC, you need a running back. Go get Madison.
I would know. He'll never be on the team like he was not on my team last year when everybody else was drafted.
Go get Hawk season.
I'm not doing that either. Not till me.
Hey, Iggy, I do have a question. I do have a question for you. A guy like DeRon Bland. A guy like DeRon Bland last year. A guy like that last year. How many points did he score in your league? Do you recall?
Who? Yeah, I can look it up on my phone real quick. It'll be faster than here. I got a lag on the computer. But JC's got to take it. DeRon Bland is he's a top 6 DB. I have him on the cheat sheet right here. Let's look at it real quick. I'll pull that up too. Let's look at the players. But DeRon Bland, you can ask Will. Will's a Cowboy fan. DeRon Bland is the best IDP on their team. He's better than Michael Parsons. He's better than Eric Kendricks. He's better than whoever else they're like.
Well, Diggs is coming back, so it'll be close. But I still think if he could play better than Diggs this year, because Diggs.
Yeah, but is Diggs like a shutdown corner where he doesn't get anybody throwing it?
That's the ticket right there, JC.
Can you see it?
In IDP, you have to. That's a thing that you need to pay attention to. Like one of my favorite players of all times is Jalen Ramsey, but I can't play him because he's not getting.
He doesn't get points.
Yeah, because he's not
getting targeted. Probably never got you points because nobody ever throws to him and gives him opportunities.
Yeah.
You know?
So thinking about that, like the reason one of the highest scorers last year was it Andrew Bynum? right? He
Where
Yeah.
did Nixon
yeah,
fall
for
in?
the Vikings.
and he was undrafted. He was probably undrafted last year in most
So
leagues.
so what you guys are telling me in
Nixon.
these IDP leagues, it's yes, obviously you got like linebackers and edge rushers and stuff like that. I get that. But when it comes to the DB position, you don't want to always get the shutdown corners. You want to get the guy on the other end who's getting the opportunities to get balls
To
thrown
pass,
to him and
You want
interceptions, things like that.
safeties. You want
passes
safeties.
defended. Yeah, safeties are better than corners. Nickel corners are becoming a thing. Hybrid safeties are becoming a thing. Gerard Bland got 266.4 points, and he got that with
Wow. That's
61
What did
pretty
tackles.
Nixon
big.
get?
And I'm pretty sure he
Tayshaun
went
Nixon,
really
what
late
did he
last
get?
year.
Nixon? Okay, let me look. It's a good question. Has JC picked his quarterback yet?
No,
I don't
haven't
think it
picked
matters.
quarterback. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think you need to pick
driving
one. 100
that station.
What rank was he? What rank was he?
What? Nixon has 190.55. I'd have to look at it. I'd have to go on the history and look at it. Right here, it just shows the standard scoring, which is fantasy football sevens is far from standard. But he had to have been a DB1. He had to have been 190.5.
I think Jakes is going to take over this year if he comes back.
All right, let's look at Will and Tip's team.
Hold on,
we
let's
Oh,
look
you
at
got to
Wicks.
look at my team.
Let's
No, you
look
can
at
skip that.
Greg real quick. Here we go. He went Herbert, Purdy. Then on the turn, he came around and took Cowboys with 316, Kelsey with 4.1,
Wow.
Fred Warner, Cooper Kupp. What are you thinking right now, Greg?
I need a running back. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you need 2 running backs, and so does Brother Roz. The guy in front of you has 0 running backs. So, JT, that's all you need to know. You got 2 guys without any running backs coming around you, and you got one guy, Joe Mixon, with only Joe Mixon, dude. And you got another guy with just Isaiah Pacheco. I think they're right. You're going to have to take your chance on a running back here.
Yeah, I was thinking about running back too, but there's a couple guys that I like here. So if I'm looking at running back here, I mean, I really like David Montgomery because of his touchdown upside. But there's potential of Gibbs maybe taking a little bit more. Maybe he's gained a little bit more of the offense, offensive looks because, now it's year 3, year 2, right?
Year two, yeah.
So he's going to get a little bit more opportunity, I think. Yeah, May says fade DB. I think so too. The other guy, I mean, a lot of people are on Zamir White, but I think that Zamir White is going to be Alexander Madison 2.0. That's just my.
You're definitely drafting him.
Don't hate on me for my take. It's just my take. I think he did
Well, you love Madison.
I hate Madison.
You love Madison. You
Go
talk
ahead.
about him every week.
Wait, JC. So you're telling me Zamir White's going to be Madison 2.0,
and they have
Madison's
Madison
on the Raiders as well. So what is
Yeah.
Madison going to be?
He's going to be Madison 3.0.
So you're telling me get Amir Abdullah then, right?
I think what's going to happen is midway through the year they're going to figure out that they are in a bad situation. Either they're going to have to just throw the ball. I mean, what did Minnesota do last year? They went out and got Cam Akers. I think that's something that they're going to have to maybe look at. If Zamir doesn't show out, they might have to step. If it depends too. Like if they're not winning, there's no point in going out and trying to find somebody. Maybe draft somebody next year. And there's some good running backs coming out next year. So I don't know. There's just something about Zamir where it's just like he's coming into a situation where there's nobody in front of him. He's either going to get a shit ton of balls handed to him and he's going to do really well, or he's going to get a shit balls handed to him and he's not going to do well. Madison did the same thing. Like he got into a situation where everybody saw like he did kind of well. His numbers looked really well, but if you actually watched him play football, he did not look well. I think he got lucky on a lot of big holes, some scores, but literally there was nobody else there besides, Ty Chandler, and Cam Akers did not look good. So I mean they had Trey McBride, or not McBride, but
so everyone listen to this because JC's giving out some words of wisdom here because I'm a Raiders fan. I follow the Raiders very closely, and Zamir White really likes this offense, but he's an unknown. I mean, he had some really good weeks last year, but he's still an unknown for a full part of the season. So look, you've got Zamir White, you've got Alexander Madison, you've got Amir Abdullah, and then you've got Dylan Lobb there as well. So one of these guys could potentially turn into something over the course of this season. So, hey, if you go out there and get Zamir White, because I've been seeing him go in the 5th, 6th round pretty early, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go out there and get a Lobb or a guy like Lobb, or, you know, hey, if you want to do the Madison thing, you could do that too. I'm not recommending it, but hey, if that's what you want to do. But I like where that was going, because you were trying to say we really don't know who it's going to be there. And that's my Raiders take for the day. You know, I had to get the Raiders. You know, Greg always talks about Michigan and all his, you know, his Detroit Lions. I rarely come in here and talk about my Raiders, and I'm going to start talking more about them. But yeah, I just had to get that in there.
That's because your Raiders don't win.
We'll get
my Wolverines win. My Lions win.
We'll get that just win soundbite. Just win, baby soundbite.
Oh, you got to get just win, baby. You got to get that.
That'll be fun. Greg, go ahead. We're about an hour. Greg, what do you anything else you want to ask? Will?
Oh no, we got to look at these teams. We got to look at these teams real quick.
Forever to draft. JC, take
later. We're actually over the hour, so I want to thank Will for coming on. If you have questions, at Will FF _, and ask him anything about Discord. He's one of the most helpful guys you'll find on Twitter.
Thank you.
If you want to help Iggy next year, get in the Discord and sign up for next year's FF7s. I'm having a blast with it, even though it's a slow draft and you got people like JC taking fucking forever. My picks are going in. I set up my queue, because I never know when my turn's coming up, because it takes so long for some of these guys. I set up my queue and I turn on auto draft. So if you look at my average time of draft, the one thing I used to love about my fantasy league is it would tell you how much time each person took to draft.
Yeah,
so you can see who was slowing things down.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, JC's cruising for a bruising, baby.
So I mean, here's where I'm
going to sick disco on you.
A lot of running. I feel like there's still a lot of running backs there that are good. I've been fading running back. I still like receiver. There's still a lot of receivers there. I don't really know if I want to go tight end. There's upside with Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid, and
JC. You need to load up on defensive linemen.
I mean, I was thinking about grabbing another linebacker here, maybe Alex Singleton. So
he's a good.
Okay.
Exactly my point. So let's just, you know what?
I'm going to read my.
I'll put it up.
The pick is in.
He did it. Look at it.
The pick is in.
There we go. 2 live picks. I love it. Man.
I'm going defensive heavy. That's what I'm going to do. Screw quarterbacks.
That's what I love about FF7s. You can be a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator. You can be like it all. You can let your strategy go, you know?
You're going to be short somewhere in this league.
Yeah.
Short somewhere.
That's a good point, Greg. You are going to be short somewhere. There's not going to be like a power. Yep. That's a good point.
We put Will to sleep here. I'm sorry, Will.
No, I'm listening.
It's all good data.
All right, guys, I want to thank you all for coming on. This has been wonderful. I can't wait to see Iggy and I met last year. Tipp I've met. Will, you're going to the expo, right?
Yes, sir.
So I get to meet Will this year at the expo, and I get to meet Disco. And Disco likes me, so I'm going to have him beat up JC for taking too long to draft, because he's a big guy and I'm old. But no, thank you all for coming on.
Taller than me.
We're getting closer and closer to the regular season when we're actually going to do fantasy football advice for the week.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
It is. So anyway, I want to thank you. We'll see you next week. I'm not even going to tease the show because I'm in so much pain. I got to get out of here.
Hey,
Take
draft
it.
is tonight.
Get better,
Draft
Greg.
is tonight.
Draft
We got
Sam
drafters.
Darnold.
That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Hey, we got drafters tonight. If any-
Hey guys, thanks.